Sure. And I mean, how did you get to that point? I mean, what made you, had you heard of cutting? Did you, like, how did you get the idea to do that? And what led to that?
Well, I think it was a couple different things. There was a very distinct argument I remember having with my dad, and it was over math homework that I'd gotten all upset of his version of trying to help me.
Right.
And we got into a pretty heated argument, and I got sent to my room. And in that fury, it just kept getting more, I kept getting more and more wound up and angry.
Right.
And then I was crying, and I was mad at myself for losing control and crying. And
so the anger was more self-directed at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It definitely, I got frustrated because I could not contain my anger. And it just kept getting more and more heated.
Right.
And my head just started feeling like it was spinning.
Right.
And I literally picked up, I had an old-fashioned phone, you know, with a big handle, and I picked up the handle and clocked myself in the head with it.
Wow.
And it was almost an instantaneous calming came over me. Because instead of having this internal pain, it became literally a throbbing pain.
It was focused.
Yeah, that I could deal with. It was like, oh, my head hurts now.
Right.
And I did it again because I was still sort of reeling out of control.
Sure.
And it was the fastest solution I'd ever come up with.
Interesting. Interesting. And so then how did you then move to cutting?
I don't know exactly at what point that happened, but I had always been a really tough kid, a very athletic kid too. So, you know, I guess I sort of had in a lot of ways, I was always out to prove my bravado and my toughness physically. So I remember at one point there was a thing that my friends and I used to do with a quarter. It was like a test of your toughness to see how long you could stand to have somebody rub a quarter on your hand. And it would like rub the skin off.
Right.
It'd be painful.
Yeah.
And those couple of things were sort of what happened before the cutting happened.
Okay.
That I felt really that I was able to handle that kind of stuff very easily, whereas some people would, you know, bow out of the contest or the competition.
You were tough enough.
Yeah, I was the tougher one.
Yeah.
And at what point I started cutting, I can't exactly recall. And the cutting was just superficial.
Right.
You know, I would take a razor blade and do small cuts as a means to sort of just relieve and release my anxiety and my angst, really.
So